So we continue with our mathematics and we look at more examples on changing of subject or formula. So let's try one that's going to be a little bit more challenging. So let's say we have been given x equal to b plus b minus a over b minus c, and the question is asking us to make this c the subject of the relation. How are we going to go about it? So if you look at it, these ones are together while this one is separate because of this addition sign. They are not multiplied and they are not divided. So what are we going to do? We are going to, that means we can easily take this to the other side. And what sign is it having? It's having a plus sign. So when it gets to the other side, it becomes a negative sign. So it's going to become minus b. Or you say you subtract b from both sides. Now, so this is going to become x minus b. When you take the b to the other side, equal to, you're going to have b minus a all over b minus c. Now another thing you are going to notice is that in this particular case, this c that we are looking for is actually a denominator, right? It is under this particular fraction. So you make sure that it is no longer under a fraction. And what you can do is to cross multiply. But before you cross multiply, you turn this also to a fraction. Then you can cross multiply. Now when you cross multiply, this will multiply this because they say it is cross. Why this will multiply this? So when you do that, what are you going to arrive at? You're going to arrive at x minus b minus c equal to b minus a. Is what we are going to get. Now, so what can we do now to get our c? Now you are going to see that what we are having that is disturbing our c, this b is disturbing it, but these guys are also disturbing it. So which one is easier to remove? Which one is more farther away? This b is closer than these two that are together. So what you are going to do is you first of all remove this one. Now how are they joined? They are joined with multiplication sign because they are inside two brackets. So the next thing you are going to do is to divide both sides by x minus b. Divide this side also by x minus b. Now what's going to happen if you divide? So x minus b will cancel x minus b. So that means on this side you are going to be left with x minus b. Sorry, that's b minus c. So I'm going to be left with b minus c equals b minus a over x minus b. Now we are looking for our c, right? Now what you can do now is that you can change the signs. And this is a little trick that you can do to make sure what you are looking for is positive, because according to what we are having now, our c is actually negative. So what you can do is you take this c and carry it to this side so that it can become positive, because it is minus c, so that when it gets to the other side it becomes plus c. Now what are we going to have? On this side we are going to be left with only b equal to, on the other side we are going to be having b minus a over x minus b. Then the c that we are bringing, that is plus c. Now look at it. What is now disturbing our c? It is now this particular fraction. So what do you do to it? You take it to the other side too, so that you'll be left with only c. So you bring this to this side, so that it's going to become b. Then what you are bringing is minus b minus a over x minus b. Then on the other side we are left with only c. So that is what we are going to have for now. Now what's next? Now don't forget that since this is an equation, you can write any side you like before writing the other side. So we can first of all write the right hand side, which is c equal to, then you write the left hand side, b minus x minus a all over x minus b. Now you can leave your answer this way, or you can decide to go further and say this is b over 1. Then you find the LCM. Now you're looking for LCM of 1 and x minus b. That's going to be x minus b. Then what do you have on top? You have b, then you open a bracket, then minus, what do you have on top here? You have x minus a, then you open a bracket. Now make sure that you put this x minus a inside the bracket because they are together. That's why you are putting them in brackets. So how many 1 can you find in x minus b? That is x minus b. Then how many x minus b can you find in x minus b? That is 1. So you put your 1 here. So this will become c equal to, if you open this bracket, b times x, that will give you bx, then minus b times b, that will give you b squared, then minus times x, that will give you minus x, then minus times minus a, that will give you what? Plus a. So everything divided by x minus b. Now we can't go any further. We can't go any further. So this is going to be our final answer. So that's the solution to the question. As you can see, this is a little bit, it took us more time to solve this. So because of the way the question came, so you have to look for a way to remove what you are given. Just remove it from the fraction that it is and make it to stand on its own. Now, so that's that about that. Now let's look at more examples on the parts that we have not done. Now let's say we are given this question: a minus bc equal to 3 plus 7c, and we are asked to make c the subject of the formula. And the problem we are having is that if you have to make c solve a formula, if you look at it, c is here, c is also here. So that means that what you are asked to make the solve formula exists in more than one term of the expression of the equation. So what you are going to do is you make sure you gather it on one side. Now if you want to gather it on one side, you can take this minus bc and take it to this side, so that both c's will be on the same side. Now the reason I'm taking this to this side and I'm not taking this to this side is because this one is having a negative sign, so I want that negative to become positive. But bringing this here, I will still be able to get the answer, but it's going to give me more problem. So I'll just take this and take it to this side. What am I going to have if I do that? I'm going to have a equal to 3 plus 7c, then plus bc. Now if you look at it, this one's, the c is in both of them, so that means that I will have to remove the one that is not having c. Now this one is not having c, so I will have to remove it. Now are they joined with multiplication sign? No, they are joined with addition sign. So that means that I can easily just take it like that and take it to the other side. So taking it to the other side, since it's having a positive sign, it will become negative. So that means I'm going to have a minus 3 equal to 7c plus bc. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that since c is here and c is also here, I'm going to factorize. That's why we did factorization. Now I will just factorize that c. What I'm looking for is what I'm going to factorize. So don't forget that when you want to factorize, you have 7c, you have bc, then you divide by that thing. So c cancels c here, you are left with 7. C cancels c here, you are left with b. So that means that what are we going to have? So we are going to have a minus 3 is equal to, what's this? We factorized c. Now what did we have left? when we finish the factorization, 7 and b. So we are going to have 7, then this sign is plus, then b. Now if you want to be sure that you are correct, you can just open the bracket again. You say c times 7, that will give you 7c. Then c times b, that will give you bc. And the middle sign is still addition. So that means we are very correct. So what's the next thing we are going to do? We are going to say a minus 3 equal to, now don't go and make mistake of opening this bracket again. I'm just telling you that if you open it, you'll be sure that you did not make a mistake. But don't open it, because you are actually looking for c. So it is this 7 plus b that is now disturbing your c. And how did they join? They are joined with multiplication sign. So that means that you can't just easily say that you want to carry it to the other side. No, I've said it, I will still say it again. Is when they are joined with either addition or subtraction that you can carry what you don't want to the other side. But if they are not joined with addition or subtraction, if they are joined with multiplication or division, then you have to either multiply or divide. So in this case, they are joined with multiplication, so you have to do what? You have to divide. So you say c 7 plus b, you divide both sides by what? By 7 plus b. 7 plus b, 7 plus b. So what happens? You see that 7 plus b will cancel 7 plus b. So we are going to be left with what? On this side, we are going to have a minus 3 all over 7 plus b equal to, on this side, we are going to be left with c. Then we said we will write the right hand side before writing the left hand side. It's still the same thing. So you just say c equals a minus 3 over 7 plus b. That's the solution to the question. Now, so let's see if we can have another one. Let's see. So we have been given 4p plus 3 equal to q1 minus p. We have been asked to make p the subject of the formula. So if we still look at it, p is here, p is also here. So you try to make sure they are both together. So what are you going to do? You first of all open this bracket. Open the bracket. So when you open the bracket, you are going to have 4p plus 12. 4 times p is 4p, 4 times 3 is 12, equal to q times 1 is q minus q times p is qp. Now you make sure that your p's are together, since they are the one that you are looking for. So what you just do is take this qp and bring it to this side, because it's the one that is having minus. This one is already positive here, so you don't need to remove it from that side. So how are we going to achieve that? What you are going to have is what? 4p plus 12. Then we are bringing this, so to become plus qp, because it's minus qp before. So you can just easily remove it from here and bring it here to become plus qp. So then this is going to be equal to q. Now this 12, we don't need it. Is it joined with multiplication? No, it's not joined with multiplication. So that means that it's easy for us to remove it and take it to the other side, so that it becomes minus 12. So this will become 4p plus qp is equal to q, then minus 12. Now what next are we going to do? There is p here, there is p here. You factorize. So you say p, 4p qp. So this cancel, we have 4. This we cancel, we have q. So that means that what are we going to have? We are going to have p open bracket of this 4 and q. So you say 4 plus q is equal to q minus 12. So now we have only one p. So it's very easy for us to remove these guys that are disturbing it. So how are they joined together? Multiplication. So you can't say you want to carry it to this side. No, you divide. So you divide both sides by 4 plus q. So 4 plus q cancels 4 plus q. You are left with p equals q minus 12 all over 4 plus q. So that's the solution to the question. So let me see if we can have another one. Yes, let's try this one. So we have y equals 1 plus x squared all over 1 minus x squared. What are we going to do? So we have been asked to make x the subject of the relation. Make x the subject of the relation. You see that x is existing more than once, so you try to bring everything together. And this one is under the fraction, so you try to remove it from that under so that it will go to the top. So what are we going to do now? What you are going to do is you turn this to a fraction and you cross multiply. So you always cross multiply when you want to remove fraction. And you must make sure that it's only 2 terms that you're having before you cross multiply, because this is only 1 term and this is also only 1 term. That's when you can cross multiply. You are going to have only 1 term on the right hand side and are going to have only 1 term on the left hand side. Or it's going to be a situation where you can consider everything on the right hand side as 1 term, or you make sure that you use everything on the right, even if it's not 1, to multiply everything that is under this. But the least condition that you must have is, for example, now you can have a minus b equal to 1 plus x squared over 1 minus x. You can still cross multiply in this case, but you make sure you use everything here to multiply this. But let's assume that you have let's assume that you're having a minus b equals 1 plus x squared over 1 minus x squared plus c. In this case, you cannot cross multiply. You cannot cross multiply because this one is having another addition here. So that means that for you to be able to cross multiply, you must have only 1 term that is a fraction on one side, while on the other side you can have as many terms as possible. But it must also be in such a way that you can use everything to multiply what is here. Not that you have 1 over, okay, although it's still going to work, but just make sure that you use everything you have on this side to multiply this. Then you have whatever is on top here to multiply whatever is below this also. So what are we going to do? You say we are going to cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, we are going to have y 1 minus x squared equals 1 plus x squared. So you open the bracket, you're going to have y minus yx squared, and that's when you multiply y with x squared, equals 1, that's 1 times 1, which is 1, then 1 times x squared is going to give us x squared. Now you're having this guy that is having x squared, so you take it to go and meet the other x squared on the other side. So what are we going to have? On this side we'll be left with only y equal to, on this side we have 1 plus x squared with the new guy that is coming, that's plus y x squared. If you notice, this minus has turned to plus because we took it to the other side. So what are we going to have now? We are going to have y equal to, okay, you can now remove this one since it's not having any x or x squared. You take it to this side. Now is 1 joined with multiplication or division? No, it's only joined with addition. So that means you can easily carry it to the other side. So it's having a plus sign, so it's going to become minus. So this will become y, the new guy that is coming, minus 1 equal to what? On this side we are left with x squared plus y x squared. So what are you going to do? You try to factorize this. You factorize what you are looking for. No, you are looking for x. So look at it. We have x squared, we have y x squared. So you are looking for x, you factorize x. So this will become x because it cancels 1 it cancels 1. This will become yx. You see that x is still left, so you still factorize x again. So you cancel, you have 1. It's a cancel, you have y. So you stop here because there is no longer any x. Now what are we going to have? So what you are going to have is on the left hand side, you are going to have y minus 1 equal to, on the right hand side, what's going to happen? You factorized x twice, and you know that we are going to multiply them, so that will be what? X squared. So this will be x squared, open bracket of, what are we going to have inside the bracket? Here we are left with 1. Then what's the sign? The sign is plus, which is also here. Say plus, what are we left here? Y. So if you open the bracket, you see that you still go back to where you are coming from. X squared times 1, that's x squared. So that's correct. X squared times y, that's what? X squared y, which is the same thing as y x squared. So what do we have left now? You see that our x squared is now being disturbed by this 1 plus y. So you have to look for a way to remove 1 plus y. Now how are they joined? They are joined with multiplication. So that means that you can't say you want to carry it to this side. What do? You divide. So you divide this side by 1 plus y. You divide this side by 1 plus y. So that 1 plus y can cancel 1 plus y. Then you are going to be left with x squared equal to y minus 1 over 1 plus y. Don't forget that we are writing this side first because it's the one that contains what you are looking for. That's the side that you always try to write before writing the other side. So what's going to happen? We're having x squared equals y minus 1 over 1 plus y. Now you are looking for x, but this power is disturbing x. So what do? Take the square root of both sides. Take the square root of this side, take the square root of this side, so that these two can cancel. You'll be left with only x. You're going to have x equals the square root of y minus 1 over 1 plus y. Now don't forget that this is the same thing as saying the square root of y minus 1 all over. Now 1 plus y is the same thing as y plus 1. You can write it anyhow. Since both of them are positive, you can write it anyhow. Even this, you can write it anyhow. You can say it's the same thing as minus 1 plus y. But don't forget that for fraction, if there is one of them that is negative, you write it last. Don't write it first, so that it won't bring about any kind of confusion. So this is where we are going to stop.